This video describes our breakout process. If we get the puck anywhere below the face-off dots, or certainly below the circles, the first step of the defenseman needs to be towards the back of the net. There's a couple of reasons for this. The first is that it's usually safe. Usually there's not any opponents sitting back behind the net, and so he's got time to make a read, and he can read the pressure and see where it's coming from. If the guy's coming behind him, then he can continue on around the net. Whereas if he gets pressure from the other side, he's got time to reverse it back the other side. In this setting, the opponent decides to chase him behind the net, and appropriately he calls for either the wheel or the over breakout play. So wheel would mean that he just simply skated completely around the net and continued up the ice if nobody pressured him. The overplay would be a pass either to the defenseman who dropped back, or preferably to our other winger who's going to go to the half boards. So as he comes around the net and calls for the over or wheel breakout play, the far side winger, and the left wing in this case, needs to go to the half boards to receive the breakout pass. Now, a lot of times what we see is that that winger drifts up too high up towards that defenseman, and this causes a couple of problems. The first is that it allows room for one of their opponents to drop underneath him and get in the way of that pass. The second thing is that it allows their defenseman to pinch down easily on him and defend against that pass as well. So he really needs to be all the way down to the hash marks or even slightly below that as he receives the pass. Second thing he needs to do is he needs to really open up to the pass. He does not need to be receiving the pass with his back to it, and he needs to make sure that his stick is perpendicular to the direction of the pass. He does not want to lose that puck in this position. Lastly, the pass should be made as soon as the defenseman clears the net to prevent them from reacting. If he waits until he gets all the way over in the corner, then that's a tough pass up the boards. Likewise, that gives the opponents time to shift their strength over to that same side, and it makes the breakout somewhat difficult. The center needs to mirror the puck. So as the puck moves behind the net, he needs to move in front of the net about the same distance as the puck. He's going to present himself as a center pass option below the dot. So for example, if the winger is covered, then he's open for a pass from the defenseman as he wheels around the net. And then he's also there, as you'll see, as a pass option for the winger once he gets the puck. So once the puck goes to the winger on the half boards, the center needs to move over, and he needs to time it so that he's even with the face-off dot as the winger receives the breakout pass from the defenseman. There's a couple reasons for this. If the wingman loses the puck, the center being at the face-off dot allows him to be back on defense. If he's already out at the blue line, then the opponent's got an odd man attack on our net. But this also makes for an easier pass because all this winger has to do is chip it up in front of him. And it doesn't have to be a great pass, just a chip in front of him, and the center can pick it up with speed and carry it out. Alternatively, if the center is covered or not there, then the winger can simply chip it up and off the boards, and then the puck can be picked up in the neutral zone either by the center or the opposite side winger. Now during this time, the weak side winger needs to mirror the puck through the high slot. There's a couple of reasons for this as well. As the puck moves to the other side of the ice, his defensive coverage is now in the high slot. So by mirroring that and moving over to the high slot, he's already in position if there's a turnover. As the puck gets to the winger, he then needs to start moving out into the neutral zone, and he can actually be an option for a breakaway pass in the neutral zone from the center or even from the winger at the half boards. Now in this case, the opponent's going to take away the far side breakout option. So obviously the previous wheel or overplay is not going to work. And so in this case, he's going to call for the reverse. He's going to sense the pressure, and the defenseman's going to reverse back towards the boards and back the other way, calling for reverse. Now if the reverse is called, then that near side winger needs to get to the half boards, and the center is going to again mirror the puck, just as we did on the other side. And the pass should be made to the half boards, and then again the center is going to be low and open for the breakout pass up the dot lane.